Who would have guessed it? As the timer ran down here, we returned your friendly neighborhood StarCraft panel to bring you all the action here from the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. To my right-hand side, joined by Rotterdam, we have Pig, we have Tasteless. We don't have many more matches that we have to get through here for bracket number 2. We will only have one more match running in parallel with some of these more matches that we have down in the lower bracket. And our next match, gentlemen, is going to be Trust going up against Scarlett. This is an opportunity for a lot of the non-Korean fans when it comes to Scarlett to be able to watch and see if she's able to prevail through that lower bracket after seeing so many good performances from her so far in recent memory, Rotterdam.
Yeah, I mean,
there you go.
She's put up one hell of a show, of course, winning the Intel Extreme Masters Pyeongchang. That was amazing. I'm looking at this match. I paid quite close attention to the way that Trust played against Serral, and I wasn't like terribly impressed. I wasn't like the sickest Protoss play that I've ever seen. It was a little bit one-dimensional. It all came down to the same kind of charge load Archon Immortal all in, like 46, 47 probes. I have a hard time believing, with the way that Scarlett has been playing lately, that she would lose a best of 3 against that. A map, maybe, can always happen, but I don't see her lose 2 out of 3 games against such a build. So Trust is really going to have to switch it up a little bit if he wants to have a good shot here.
I mean, Trust is one of the Korean players, actually, that, you know, we've been covering StarCraft for years and years and years and years, and even though I've cast so many Koreans myself, Trust is one that I never really got to cover very much on an international stage. I've never really done too much over in Korea, Tasteless. But yeah, I haven't really covered him too much.
Well, I think he's just overshadowed by a lot of the other players that we have here. Going into this match, I think we all have to expect for Scarlett to be pretty dominant, right?
Yeah.
Unless things actually change that quickly. I mean, upsets, of course, do occur. We've already seen some games that have really surprised us, but I'm expecting, although Trust is a good player, this should be pretty tough for him.
Quick thoughts, Pig, before we get into the match?
Honestly, Scarlett's coming in as the big favorite. Trust is going to have to dig deep for him. It's a hard spot because Scarlett's so aggressive in this matchup lately. A lot of Protoss players struggling with that. You know, he's got to be confident. He's got to not second guess himself because it's a very tough match.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you very much as we're able to go and get ready as we get this PVZ underway here at the Intel Extreme Masters.
All right. Thanks so much, guys at the desk. Todd, Scarlett versus Trust. I mean, everyone's saying it's Scarlett that wins, but Trust is a Korean Protoss.
Yeah, it cannot be counted out. Scarlett showed some fantastic things as of late. Maybe a little bit of inconsistency, though, at the same time, right?
Yeah.
WCS Leipzig loses to Namshar here. I believe she lost the series as well.
Yeah, this is the loser bracket. So
who was it against? Was it
against? Guru.
Yeah, Guru, yeah.
Right off the bat.
So maybe ZVZ a bit more of a weakness. It feels like she does better against the top Zergs.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like kind of almost random Zergs. I mean, everyone knows Namshar and Guru, but
SOS was also a Korean Protoss Autosis. You see the ticker?
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't see it. Good old Wax. Well, Trust, Mini Zest, as I used to call him, hasn't really had results since KT broke up, so I don't know. We'll see how he can do here on Neon Violet Square in the top left. Our Canadian Zerg, the IEM Pyeongchang champion. It's Scarlett.
She's got the Eye of the Tiger Autosis.
Yeah. And in the bottom right, the Protoss player from Korea. It's Trust.
It's almost a little bit ironic when you're a Protoss player to be called Trust, right? Because you definitely cannot be trusted.
Oh, certainly not. You're right. Especially the way he's been playing, right? This guy, he doesn't need to make probes when he gets that charge upgrade done, man. It's time to go.
That would be like if your nickname was like Honor or something, you know? I remember when all these Zergs came out and saying in interviews that Classic was a dishonorable Protoss. I thought that was one of the funniest things ever, but yeah. I guess it's kind of the style.
IDs can be funny like that. Like Tasteless, he tastes terrible, man. He's not tasteless at all.
You wish he was. All right, so on Neon Violet Square here, there's always that interesting dynamic of which third base is going to be taken. But first and foremost, it's always about Usually what Protoss does, like, you don't really see Zergs going for big aggressions unless it's like a complete all-in, like a proxy hatchery, which is not going to be the case here in this game. So it's going to be for Trust to decide whether it's a Stargate usually or Twilight opener, and then into what. A lot of the time you're going to see that third base come out, but how aggressive does he actually want to get? And those Scarlett even see it coming, because scouting is key.
Well, she's pretty darn good defensively. You know, she's originally known as a macro Zerg, but her success lately has really hinged on her aggression. So how does she actually bring that today? How does she bring it here?
I think it's about finding the right balance. I feel like Scarlett would definitely be, though, more comfortable in some best of 5 or best of 7s. Now there's only so few maps in which she can make stuff happen. But yeah, so far everything looks standard. I don't know, I feel like in the mid game, if she can get some sort of good, you know, maybe Hydralis to lurker attack going, or maybe some sort of drop, she might be able to do well. But first and foremost, it's always going to be coming down to the defense against the initial Protoss aggression, which is going to come in the way of the Stargate here.
Yeah, definitely going to see some oracles flying out, and I felt like that was the right way to play against Scarlett in Pyeongchang. You know, she was doing so many aggressive plays. The oracle can definitely help defend against those, but I don't know that she needs to play that way here against Trust, right? You know he watched that tournament. You know that's fresh in his mind.
What do you think is the best way to go about playing him? Just scouting and sitting and defending and then profiting?
Well, for many a player, yes. Trust, not as much. I don't trust him to win like a long macro game. I wouldn't mind seeing him do something like, okay, let's do a little bit of pressure here. You know, get a Phoenix after this Oracle, keep the Overlords out of your base so she can't scout. And then maybe do something like a Glaives all-in, you know? Make it something that like is almost a coin flip for her, where it's like she doesn't quite know, and you know, if you don't make that Roach War, and suddenly Trust walks away with a victory.
And like, you know, like I was mentioning before, Scarlett, it almost feels like she does better against the higher tier players. That's what we saw recently in Pyeongchang, in GSL as well. So now facing a Trust that's actually, that went pretty well. But yeah, facing a Trust that's not necessarily considered like one of the highest tier Protoss out there. Yeah. It's all in the tricks for him to make something happen and for Scarlett to try and react to it. So again, scouting is going to be key. And I really feel like just kind of staying defensive, you know, like sometimes it's tempting to go on the attack, like you know you're a very good player, but you're facing that somebody that's being overly aggressive and that's very good at aggression. Just sit home, defend whatever they're throwing at you, and then you're going to be in a great position heading into the mid to late game potentially.
Look at this. Scarlett going to take down a pylon here. You know, maybe the Oracle, the next Oracle coming out is going to have to go and deal with that. But oh, man. Very nice abusing that Spore Crawler placement. This is a lot of kills for an Oracle. Oracles nowadays get 2 kills.
Well, let's not speak too early here. Okay, that one almost get taken out. I was going to say it only lost the shield as well, but then here we go. Like 2 queens in a good position. Make sure that gets punished a little bit more. Twilight Council and Robo going down at the same time here. So usually, for the Robo to start this early, you're going to see a Templar Archives a lot of the time start behind this, and then Archons and Charlottes. It's not impossible to go for Glaives either, but definitely a bit of early Twilight and Robo for that. I mean, you say the Trust loves his aggression, right? A lot of the time, he's not going to be that guy, you know, sitting back, taking normally and all that. He wants to throw units in Scarlett's face and then see what works.
Well, I think with the amount of information he's gotten so far, I don't actually want to see him do this on 2 base. Like, I mean, it's fine. Get a Prism. You know, he has 3 Oracles. He's going to be fine. But he saw a Roach Warren. When you see that Roach Warren, it's like, if you try this and it doesn't work out, your game is almost forfeit at that point.
And the thing is, he saw a quick lair as well, because if it's Roaches and no quick lair tech, then they're very slow. You can actually shade between bases if you were going to go for something like Glaives attack. So in this case, with Clear Reconstitution, with a creep spread of Scarlett, which is notorious around the world and the universe, could be very risky. Actually, Trust choosing to sack one of his Oracles here to get some more drones. He did so many of them.
In fact, he sacked 2 Oracles, right? I believe that's the last Oracle here. So. Okay, only 1 Oracle left, but the thing is, Trust is taking that pocket third, so he's not going to be afraid of these Speed Roaches at all. Like, the Speed Roaches, the odds of them breaking in, the odds of Scarlett even really trying that are very, very low, I would say. So he's free to come up, try to get some harassment done. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make some Archons here.
Did he make anything out of the Twilight Council yet? No upgrade, I think.
Yeah, no upgrade.
what's the plan here? Because he's getting immortals. Maybe just an old school, okay, no charge attacks. I was like, what? Sentries, head zealots or something, and then immortals? No.
I like how he warps in 3 High Templars, loads them up, and then flies home. I'm like, well, okay, I mean, maybe you're afraid that she'll find this while you're morphing Archons and you lose one. That's the most painful thing in the whole world. Or maybe you want to feed back Queens. I don't know. I'm trying to get creative here. But, okay, just an Archon at home. Trust deciding no attack right now.
Maybe he wanted to attack drones with the High Templars, but then realized it wasn't a good idea.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
They attack now.
I forget that they attack sometimes because the attack is just so bad.
Yeah. It does achieve what it's meant to achieve, though, right? Which is Templars not diving face first towards the enemy and kind of staying in the middle so they can stay alive and then later on Storm. But yeah, Trust is going to posture forward here with the Lola army. And Scarlett should have enough, looking at the army supply and what she has on the way. This is not an attack that can be underestimated, though, but there is only 1 sentry. I think that makes it a lot less scary because of that.
Ooh, I love this move as well. A nice Stasis War in the back while she's really concentrating elsewhere. And with the 2 Immortals in that sentry, I mean, this is pretty scary, actually. She does have some Ravagers, so I don't think there's any chance Scarlett will die here, but definitely could be some damage coming in.
It's so hard for Trust to actually fight this effectively because there's so many Roaches. The Corrosive Bile are such a threat as well that he kind of has to dance around. He chooses to kind of stand still inside of those Corrosive Biles, so he gets punished.
Turns out Immortals deal a lot of damage to Roaches, as we see here. Kind of crazy. Oh, God, the Bile's actually killing off the Prism.
Wow.
That was like great Biles by Scarlett, but definitely a mistake by Trust. You've got to be quicker than that. And now he's going to lose everything he has.
Yeah, and Scarlett with a fantastic defense. Look at the supply now double for Scarlett, who's in a fantastic position, taking her pocket expansion. She's going to be going up to 4 bases in a second. And the Walker leads 50 probes to 65 drones. Scarlett can easily start 9 more drones, go for the Lurker then, and even counter-attack here, apply a lot of pressure to Trust thanks to the Corrosive Biles.
Let's not forget there's not even a Forge. There's not a Forge out there. Like, Trust is actually in a very tough spot right now. He's going up to Storm. I mean, Storm is a good upgrade, but the Biles hitting that Prism was everything. That was absolutely everything. Like, if he gets out of there with both the Immortals and the Prism, this attack isn't happening right now.
That was really weird.
Yeah.
I thought like Trust was just going to attack normally behind this, but it seemed more like an all-in than anything. Yeah. And he got crushed Scarlett with the easy defense, and now with the counter-attack. What's going on here? Manor hatcheries or what? This runs.
GG is called. Scarlett going to take game number 1. You know, it was good play by Scarlett. She kind of scouted out what was happening as best as she could. You know, getting that Roach Warren, super important so that you can actually hold on. Trust, on the other hand, like, I felt like he was doing okay with the attack. Those Immortals were doing some heavy lifting, but you can move the Prism, you know, when the Biles come out, but he wasn't quick enough there.
Yeah, and you have to think, by the way, Scarlett, she's lived for a long time in South Korea now. She probably plays against this kind of build all the time on the Korean ladder, so that's also why I think partly she looked so good against it, you know, whereas somebody like Stefano earlier in the tournament, we saw try and take quickly for Hydralisk and just kind of dying to an attack. Scarlett was like, nah, I'll just get Roaches and smash this attack of yours, and that looked almost too easy, honestly. Like, yeah, sure, the Immortals were doing damage, but I mean, if you look at the way this fight ends, it wasn't really that close here for Scarlett, who was just getting so many reinforcements.
Well, Scarlett has to feel good right now about her chances to move forward. Obviously, this is not a qualifying match as of yet. She fell to that loser bracket in the first round, so that's the hardest way to go ahead and qualify.
Yeah, she has to beat Trust now, then beat Zenster, and then somebody between Creator, True, Guru, or Optimus. So it's quite a few matches.
Some good players up and coming. It's funny to think there's actually Terrans in this group. I've only seen Zerg vs. Zerg so far. All right, so
somehow they sneaked in there, staying alive for as long as they can.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind. Optimus lost.
Oh, did he? Oh, poor guy.
So yeah, Scarlett has to be Trust, then Zenster, and then the winner of Guru, Creator, and True.
All right. Well, Guru, Creator, and True. So, you know, ZVP, ZVZ, she's good at these matchups, as we've seen. Talking to Creator right now. It is time for game number 2, though. Hopefully she'll put that headset on and we can get going.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
That feeling when you're bantering with a Protoss buddy and you don't even remember you're playing a tournament.
Yeah. He's talking like, yeah, the Immortals were killing my roaches, but it was fine. I biled that prism. He's like, yeah, that was funny, huh?
Creator is like, I was really good at PvT and Wings of Liberty.
Yeah. He's like, do you remember when I was like the best Protoss?
Double forge every game. Now everybody's good at it.
Yeah.
Actually, Creator is good at play Guru. So I guess that's why
okay.
stand up and start doing map vetoes.
Oh, big cool map. Okay, Scarlett versus Trust. Is Trust going to be eliminated? This is tough, man. He doesn't have a sponsor or anything. He's not on a team, which means he had to fly out here on his own dime, right? So
yeah,
that's a bit rough. You just get knocked out early. The thing is, he normally does reasonably well.
He's had some good runs.
Yeah. At IEMs specifically.
Yeah.
Shanghai last year, for instance, getting in. That was pretty crazy. Anyways, here we are. Backwater is our map. In the top left, our Canadian Zerg. It's Scarlett. And the Protoss player in the bottom right. This could be his last game in the tournament. It's Trust.
Artosis. Yes. Look at the production tab. We had an extractor that was made.
Yes.
And a spawning pool. Now Scarlett is going to be playing aggressive. We talked about this. I did say that I feel like in a best of 5 she would have a big advantage because Scarlett is so good at throwing these kind of builds in. But now it's just a best of 3. She's up 1-0. She's like, you know what? Let's take a chance here.
Why not? This map is pretty good for this too because you can go into ling drops here. That's something we've seen her do on this map as well. You know, you have that kind of third base location. You could drop into there. Obviously, the big main plays. You know, they always are going to have a low ground wall here.
Yeah, it's tough for Protoss to defend perfectly because you got such a huge wall off at your natural that you need to cover. And like you said, there's room everywhere for drops. So it's very hard to defend properly against any kind of attacks there. And like, Trust immediately is like, you know what? Who cares about a Nexus? I want to stay alive. No, start that later. There's no way I'm going to start a Nexus right now and die to this. And I think it's the right reaction.
Look at that location. You tell me an evolution chamber isn't going to be made pretty soon here. It is happening. Okay, I like the placements though. What Trust is doing, just walling in, throwing down a pylon at one of the more remote places, so that he's going to see if a drop is coming in from the third. But also, like, if there's not, that pylon's not ever going to die. It's just going to be safe.
And Scarlett didn't actually make an evolution chamber. She might be playing to her image just because this was Scarlett perfectly. I think she realized there is no Nexus. So what's the best thing she could do from there? Apply pressure with this and kind of abort automation. Yeah. Just go for economy instead. This would be a great move.
And look at how heavily he's countering this as well. Like, going into Stargate now on just one base. Oh, but there is evolution chamber.
Yeah, so Scarlett's still going to go for it anyway. I guess you don't have to make it that early because you need to have speed anyway, which takes a long time to complete. So it's going to line up decently well.
You know, an additional hatchery gives you more lanes.
Yeah. I guess she dropped on both locations. So, oh my god, the gateways.
Oh my god.
Rewall! Wow.
This is kind of funny because there's like a rewall, but then there's a giant hole to the bottom here as well.
Scarlett didn't pick up on that, actually. I'm really surprised. She could have run right in there. I guess there was the probe ready to make a pylon. Maybe it was a little bit far.
And that would have been several extra shots. But the drop Overlord is ready. The thing is, a pylon is right there. Perfectly placed Overlord. You can tell she's practiced this, mostly against SOS, of course.
Now with 2 Adepts, it's very hard for Scarlett to actually engage these Earlings who die very fast. So she's just going to kind of run around, wait for a mistake. Sometimes you look for that mistake, you force it, and then you get a lot of probes for your efforts. And Scarlett sees that there's still no Nexus, but she's still making a ton of links. Yeah. Almost again playing to her image, whereas Trust right now, he must be thinking that Scarlett expanded and is making a ton of drones, but no, she's not.
God, the Oracle's going across the map, Todd. That's actually a really big deal. I feel like you need to keep this at home defensively.
And 2 Adepts was enough for the amount of links that were there, but now there's 3 Adepts, but so many links as well from Scarlett, ready to start walking on that wall and completely bust Trust.
Here comes the Oracle back once again, but the Zealot's going to be broken the wall, which means all these lings are going to flood in. The Adept's going to get surrounded here, but with that Oracle actually starting to get cleaned up.
Yeah, and the Stargate gets unpowered. Is there anything in the wall?
Nothing in the wall right now.
Trust keeps
but he's walking in a depth there, I think.
Yeah, he does have a lot of units now. I think a shield battery in the wall here would be perfect. Yeah. Like just perfect wall. You can reopen that later if you need to, but at this point, Trust has mostly defended this attack, and he's going to be in a great spot.
Do you need to get aggressive with these? I don't think so. Like, he can just go into Nexus from here. All right, good defense.
And be aggressive probably as well, very soon.
Well, another Oracle is going to be popping out, and all the Lings are really being cleaned at this part. We're definitely going to see a counterattack with these Adepts.
Trust with a crazy amount of Adepts, more than there are Zerglings on the map right now, and Scarlett in dire need of droning up. Getting more Links is almost out of the question as well, because like Trust is sealed back at home. He's Link-proof at this stage.
Well, going to be able to expand while attacking here. Look, a Spore is on the way, and like a Queen and 2 Links. Yeah, she just GG's. I'm not surprised about that, to be honest. There was no way for her to hold on against double Oracle and like 5 Adepts, was that? It's too much. So a good hold by Trust. There was a couple shaky moments when he flew the Oracle away, the wall got broken, you know. But overall, strong hold.
He was drinking just now and shaking a little bit.
Oh, yeah? Oh, well, I think you have a lot of adrenaline in a tournament like this. He's playing against the defending IEM champion, right? You just got Zergling rushed as well. And if I believe what I read on the internet, it's hard to stop that.
Don't believe everything you read out there, Artosis.
No? That's where I get all my facts. All right, checking the build orders right now is Trust. But it's time for game number 3. Gotta get into that momentarily here.
That was a great hold here by Trust for sure. He stayed patient, made sure he was defending properly. Like, almost got scary when he was gonna fly across the map with the Oracle, but eventually he had the good defense enough.
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting because it seemed like Scarlett might call off the rush, but then just continued onwards with it.
I thought he was smart originally to go into drones, but then he was like the reverse mind game of then again going to more units.
Yeah.
But Trust really didn't underestimate that. He made double gateways, he made the Stargates, made a ton of units, didn't overmake walkers. And most of all, the most important is not starting a Nexus. So many people there, they will be like, oh, I can get a Nexus and defend there.
Oh,
no, you absolutely cannot.
100% dies if he makes a Nexus. I totally agree with that. Like, you need the money not just for some units, but you need to be able to build buildings behind your wall to like reseal.
Yeah.
For instance, that gateway that kind of blocked the Lings from coming in. Very important moment.
Scarlett probably gonna go back to playing a little bit more standard, I would guess here.
I think so.
#3.
I think so.
Then again, yeah, you never know. When you've been 6-linked by Jaedong back in the days in the final map.
Well, that's... Yeah, no. I mean, some of these Zerg players are just so decisive. And she showed that a lot at Pyeongchang, so we could see more aggression coming out, but I think she wins macro games here as well. So let's see. Eastwatch going to be our next map. In the bottom left, our Canadian Zerg. It's Scarlett. And of course, in the top right, our Protoss from South Korea. It's Trust.
Definitely not your most conventional map #2. So probably going into something a bit more standard here, I think would make a lot of sense for both players. We're on a pretty big map here in Eastwatch with a lot of expansion, so I wouldn't mind seeing a longer game.
Yeah.
See whoever of these two players is better at those.
We do see some Zergs kind of pull the trigger by taking the gold base and forcing the Protoss to react to that. Do you think that that might be something that Scarlett wants to do here?
I think if she wanted to go for it, she would have maybe opened with it. So now I'm not maybe as a like 4th base. Not sure.
Yeah, I could definitely see it as a 4th base, but that's not exciting. I want to see the 3rd base.
Some Protoss is actually... I remember a couple of games in Pyeongchang. Who was it? I think it might have been SOS, where like there was a gold base by somebody.
Oh yeah? And then, he took it?
No. He reacted perfectly, but then he still died to the attack or something. It might have been Zest.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember
that
the match exactly. Like we will need Roddy for that to remember the exact match. But yeah, like there was this one game where I was like, the Protoss is doing so well.
Well, he would remember it, but then he would also correct you and be like, oh no, he didn't die right away. This happened. You're like, oh, okay.
So from there, it's always the question of, do we see a Stargate yet again?
I would say so. This is a big map, and oh my god, okay. Well, this is exciting. Watch
we hadn't seen that in a long time, by the way.
Yeah. So, I mean, is this for shield batteries?
Oh, the Overlord!
Oh my
And Trust might start something before this gets there. Oh my god. Don't show it.
This is hilarious.
Okay, she's just, oh, she turns around. He saw it, I think. He probably saw it. Like, even if he wasn't looking on the minimap, something popped up where Trust should realize this was spotted.
That is such a funny place to put a Stargate. You know that there's other places that Stargate could have gone, Yuan. Like, it could have gone just to the right where it can't be attacked immediately.
Yeah, it's like sometimes the Zergs, they will send links around to scouts.
Yeah.
And then if he goes on the low ground, you know, he wouldn't see what's on the high ground there. But Scarlett's seeing this immediately. This is a big deal. She might just wait until the Stargate is finished and then attack it with links to empower it. But Trust, maybe he saw that this was scouted and he's like, you know what, I'll apply so much pressure with the adepts that you're not going to be able to empower it. Yeah, he's going to cover it maybe. Get a shield battery.
Oh, I wanted to see a wall in around the pylon with shield batteries, but I guess that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
He could have made more, actually. Trust is almost like aborting here a little bit early, even though he had the probe still there. He could have made one more pylon, one shield battery for the adepts. That would have been straight up immortal there then.
I guess he just didn't see that the Overlord saw it. The thing is, it was in vision long enough, you feel like it should have?
Like, even if you see it for 1 second on the minimap, it was in vision, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, when you go for this, you're supposed to kind of look at the minimap. Trust has been around for a long time, so I feel like a lot of these top Korean pros, if something pops up on the minimap, even for just 1 second, they will almost always see it.
Almost. Well, you know, that's...
this might be the one time he didn't see it.
That's where mistakes get made and games get lost. And right now, that's kind of what this is looking like. Look at this. This Adept not even going to make it through.
Yeah, behind this, there's only one more Adept coming out. That Trust is forced to chrono boost here right now. Scarlett knocking at the front door here of Trust. Gonna force yet another pylon here in the re-wall. Scarlett in a fantastic position from there. She can drone so comfortably, starts a lair. The tech of Trust was slowed down so much, and he might just be getting desperate here. He keeps on the gases on his natural, starts 5 more gates. And with
he's
this charge,
all in. This is it. This is
going to be a charge flood.
Yeah, look at this. Not even mining gas
But Ro4 is on the way. Like we say, Scarlett, she plays against these builds a lot on the Korean ladder, I'm sure of it. It's going to be 8-gate charge loss against what's going to be Roaches here from Scarlett, who, unless she over-drones, she should be able to defend there.
Yeah, if she just sits and makes non-stop Roaches, this becomes holdable, but
she has
there's a lot of power here, too.
She has an Overlord around the natural, but she's not scouting with it, though. No, not even the gases. That would be the information she needs. She's still droning up. That's what's scary right now.
Yeah. A lot of Zealots being made.
55 walkers to 31. Okay, now we need to only look at the production tab. There's 2 Overlords on the way. Scarlett needs to only make units from there. She sees the Prism and Zealots. Okay, I think she knows. She's going to be only Roaches from there for Scarlett. She's even adding 1 more Queens here. Clear Reconstitution's on the way as well. +1 missile. And a Spine Crawler is going to start as well. Scarlett in full alert modes.
A lot of Roaches being made. All right, the Zealots actually coming up to the natural. Not too many units out right now. Some real damage can get dealt. A beautiful micro by Scarlett, bringing that Roach back into the mineral line. Roaches coming down the ramp, but these Zealots fighting very well.
Yeah, Scarlett needs to kite as much as he can. She's going to evacuate with the drones here. She needs to keep on pulling back. Just hit, pull back, hit, pull back. Block with the drones a little bit as well. There's going to be so many more Zealots being warped in as well. If she could get the Warp Prism, that would be great for Scarlett. Let's see. Only 1 single Queen.
The Queen is targeting that, and it's getting a little bit low, but the Zealots actually going after this Queen. Another Queen coming up from behind. This Prism going to run away for the time being, and that means that these Zealots are going to be killed off. I mean, this looks to me like a hold. Even though 20 drones died, you got Roach speed here against someone not mining gas.
20 drones died, and she's still ahead on the walker count. I think Scarlett might have slightly over-droned, and look, she's looking so confident right now that she starts 9 more drones. I think that was here a second ago. So Scarlett's going to rely here on the Roaches she already made to defend, and I think that should be enough. And from there, she's even dropping creep across the map on the potential 3rd base of Trust. Scarlett, all she has to do is kill these Zealots, and I think she's moving on to the next round.
Yeah, it really does look like that right now. The Prism coming up. Trust trying the best he can to actually do something here, but the Roach is just vastly outnumbering these Zealots. Still not mining gas, by the way. He is not even trying to transition, just coming back. I like this, trying to use that Crass, but there's even an Overseer here.
You gotta stay the course out of this. You won't say that the captain goes down with his ship.
Yeah, and Trust is gonna go down with his Zealots at this point.
He indeed will be, I think, with that supply.
Well, I mean, what would you do from here? I guess you can start mining gas, maybe go use your Warp Prism, power up that Stargate, see if you can get a Void Ray out. I don't know, man. Very tough situation. Continually running back and trying to utilize some of this terrain, but it doesn't work. GG is called, and Scarlett kind of laughing about that one. A crazy all-in followed by a crazy all-in.
Looking absolutely relieved here. She almost over-drones, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That was too many drones for sure. I think she could have stopped at maybe like, you know, 40, even before. You can even have an even walker count with the Protoss and make, you know, she had over 20 walkers more than Trust, yet somehow still held.
There's not much of a follow-up there for Trust no matter what. Like, we've seen some other players do builds like this, like from Hero and stuff, where he starts to get a bit more gas, maybe adds in a sentry, tries to do a force field on the ramp or something like that. But, you know, Trust doesn't really, you know, he didn't have much of a follow-up. He was just going all in, all in, all in. And unfortunately, he is knocked out. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll hear from Scarlett.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2018. We just saw the lower bracket match for bracket 2. We saw Scarlett taking down Trust. So first of all, congratulations, Scarlett. You keep your tournament life alive. And your road has been kind of interesting because the one loss you've had was to Guru or a foreign Zerg, and then you just plowed through 2 Koreans. So, I mean, what's going on here?
I don't know. Guru is Guru. He can beat anyone sometimes, so. But I don't think I was playing that well in the morning. I almost lost to Arts too in the first round of the lower bracket, so. But against Leonok and Trust, I was confident, so I thought I could win anyways.
Good confidence from you. I mean, we've seen it in your performance recently. You've just been doing so well in this series. I'm curious, what was your reaction when you saw that Stargate in your main? Because I think that surprised a lot of people.
I knew it would be there, actually. I was like 99% sure there was going to be a Stargate in my main base right there. So or if not there in the gold. So if you look, I rallied my 3rd Overlord to check just for Proxy Stargate there. I don't know why. I think he went Proxy Stargate on Neon Violet behind the natural against Cyril. And also, I've seen people do that on Korean Ladder, like a Stargate in that position. And then I saw it and I knew I would win because I just let it finish and then kill the pylon, and you can't win. But I almost threw that game. I was so greedy afterwards and I almost died to Zealot.
But luckily you were able to hold the Zealots, and now you're going to be moving forward and facing another foreigner in Zanster. And the last 4 times you've played him, you've won every single time. So because of that, are you feeling pretty confident headed into this?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. But CVZ best of 3 is always, there's always a chance you can lose. But I'm like pretty sure I can win and pretty sure I can advance today. even though I started in the first round of losers, so I'm trying my best, and I think I'll do it.
Sounds great, Scarlett. Best of luck. I'm sure a lot of fans are also hoping that you'll advance out of this lower bracket. We'll see how things go. Caleres, back to you.
Thank you very much, Smix. Of course, Scarlett here looking for the run through the lower bracket. And doing so far, not too badly. Going up against Zanster next up. We'll talk about that in a few moments' time. We're going to be checking in with Creator and Guru. Pig and Rotterdam have been covering that. And Pig, there were a few bloodbaths here.
Oh, dude, it has been like, it started out with a light shower of blood, and we went into a full-blown bloodbath. If we can hop straight into game, this is an insane base trade right now. And Creator has defended his base. I think he really needs to recall these models out.
He just recalled his probes.
Oh, really? Okay.
He just recalled like 36 probes from 9 o'clock. So these immortals are stuck.
Oh, dude, he has built like 17 immortals this game.
He could elevate them out, yeah. Look, he's coming! The reinforcements!
2 warpers.
This is Dunkirk, the Starcraft game!
There's not enough lifeboats for everyone!
When they couldn't get home, home came for them!
Well, they're getting out. Nice.
I mean, what a game. This is a typical Guru game.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's quite funny because we looked at it early on and it's like, okay, he's actually super dead because the roach count was at 16. And the immortal count was at 9. So you're like, okay, those roaches are going to have a tough time. And then it sort of turned into this weird base trade. And obviously, once you start base trading, there's always a little bit of hope. But the fact that Creator was able to save almost all of his probes, I mean, look at it. He's still at 60 workers. I have a hard time imagining Guru winning this game.
I feel like we're going to be in for a long series between these two. If this is anything to go by, they seem quite evenly matched tasteless.
They do. It's funny because both these guys have very out there play styles. So when you have two unorthodox players playing against each other, the results you end up getting can be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And that game's no exception.
Seems that way at the moment. Seems that way. Thank you very much for the update, guys. Let's talk about how Scarlett was able to triumph over Trust here. Impressive stuff. She believed and knew that there was a little bit of kind of danger towards the very end of that game, with a bit maybe of over-droning Pig when going into that situation.
Well, you know, we were sitting there watching. Kevin was saying she's got it in the bag. She just needs to not go over 51 drones. Then we saw her go to 53 drones, and we were like, ooh, is this actually going to happen? But luckily, she managed to hang on there in the end. Honestly, you could tell Trust was trying to surprise Scarlett.
Right.
I think I knew he was the underdog. The Stargate in the main base.
Yeah.
That's one. There's a bit of a question mark.
It's kind of funny because apparently that is trendy at the highest levels on the ladder. But, I mean, the moment that's a trend at all, then you can't do that. I mean, it's just like the idea of I'm going to hide in the closet to then kill my opponent, but it's like, well, the closet's too far away from the bed, so I'm going to actually just stand outside the closet and kill him like that.
You know, is that?
That's not... I feel like the moment that catches on at all, you can't do that in a big match like this, because people are going to be looking for it.
The weirdest thing about it as well is that the Overlord was clearly inside of the Stargate as well. So, but he still let it finish, and then I was like, well, maybe the only thing he's going to do is like build 2 shield batteries there and another pylon, and then the Adept is going to buy time for the Oracle to come out. Nope, just a single pylon, and we're all looking at each other. We're like, this is so weird. Like, you just lost your Stargate.
Yeah.
And then the all-in, I actually felt there was maybe a glimmer of hope. Once he started warping in on top of the roaches, that's exactly what you want with Zealots. You never want to run into roaches, because then they just start kiting. But he started warping in on top of them, as Creator has picked up game number 1, by the way. He just had too much in the end. I felt there was maybe a moment where he was doing well in the natural.
Right.
He should have never sent those 5-6 Zealots in the main, because those Zealots will get kited one by one, and then you lose 6 Zealots, and then you lose the overwhelming number of Zealots, which you obviously need with that all-in. I felt there was a moment where he could have just grabbed 6 Zealots and maybe click on the Roach Warren. There was a lot of surface area on the Roach Warren. If you take out that Roach Warren, then maybe with another weapon, and I think you want to go to the low ground then, you kill the drones in the natural, then you go towards the third base, maybe you can sort of turn it into a game, but obviously it was a disastrous start, as Pig would say.
That's right.
When you build a Stargate and you don't get a single unit out of it, not a place to be.
Not the best. Let's check in with the bracket, of course, as we do have this continuing on. Solar and Serral have confirmed themselves a spot in the round of 24. Down towards the bottom, we have 3 Zergs waiting in lower bracket 4, with Creator looking to make sure that it's not 4 Zergs there, as he's taken that 1 map against Guru. So that is where we're at in the situation here in bracket number 2. Thank you very much, gents, for your thoughts here, as we're going to take a short break here at the Intel Extreme Masters. And when we return, of course, we just have 2 more series to go for day number 1.